Tomorrow is the day. The house at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho, at an off-campus housing where the brutal and horrific murder of 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, were brutally stabbed to death, is set to be demolished tomorrow on Thursday, December 28th at 7 a.m. Despite 2 of the families of the victims' feelings towards it and petitions reaching 5,000 signatures now to keep the house intact, and a trial date had not even been set yet. The family of Kaylee Goncalves made a post earlier this month, and this is what they said. So, I have really been having some hard days this week. Today was especially hard because we were notified that they plan on tearing down the house on December 28th, just 3 days after Christmas. Here's the thing with the house. I get it. It's an eyesore. It makes the community and college sad. It's a house of horrors. So on, so forth. Yes, Kaylee unfortunately died in that house. But more importantly, Kaylee lived a fun, happy life in that house. So, my point is, when the house is torn down, it will be a very sad day for me. Salt in a wound that never heals. Anyway, I broke down at work today and even cried all the way home. Tearing down the house right now is just too premature. With a trial date that has not even been set yet, the house is the most crucial piece of evidence in this case. The technology that is out there does not compare to the first-hand experience of the sounds, the acoustics, and the sense of spatial perception one has when they are in the elements themselves. They can't recreate that environment. Those tight little streets, the view from the parking area, the wooded slope at the rear of the house, there is no substitute for being able to stand in the place where it happened. The house standing still paints a picture of a violent ending of 4 students' young lives and how the person responsible for this acted while he was in the crime scene committing this horrendous act. The house is a large piece of evidence that once it's down, you can't go back. Virtual evidence simply just is not the same. The outer exterior and vicinity cannot be digitally remastered. Jurors need to be reminded of how heinous, brutal, and horrific this crime was. Everyone, including the families, understand the healing needed of the students. And yes, Maisie and Hunter still attend University of Idaho, and Hunter's frat house bedroom actually looks in the exact direction of the house where his brother's life was taken. And I am sure that is so incredibly painful to have to look out of your bedroom window and see the house in which your brother's life was taken as a stark reminder every day. And truly, I give his sister and his brother so much credit for going back to that school, because I don't know how they do it. They are such strong individuals to be able to face the sadness that that school brings where their sibling's life was taken, and to just go back and finish their school. I just give them so much credit. And I know how extremely painful that this must be to have to look every day, but they need to ensure that the killer who did this pays for what they did. And absolutely every avenue that needs to be taken should be, and that includes they need to keep the house up until the trial is over. The academic calendar has been well underway since this has happened, and they've already endured the house standing still there and seeing it every day for this long. What is a little bit more to ensure that it's there and stands until the trial is ended? Why rush to demolish this house? What is a little more time to ensure that absolutely every question and doubt is answered? That Maddie, Ethan, Xana, and Kaylee truly have the justice they all deserve. Which brings us to this. Kaylee's family released a statement in regards to the demolition of the house with the questions that they had in regards to the house and what went on that night. This is them. The Goncalves family has reached out to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office and the University of Idaho to stop this madness. When the victims can't speak, you have to speak for them when you feel someone is hurting the case. Let's just answer the question on why King Road House should stand for basic evidentiary purposes. Number 1, what were the vantage points of the roommates Dylan and Bethany? What could they hear from where they were in the house? What could they see? How far away was Dylan when she saw Brian Koberger, and why didn't he see her? Could the surviving roommates hear a dog barking from the 3rd floor? Screams. Can you hear the same sounds from the bottom apartment? Question number 2, outside the house, if evidence is presented about Brian Koberger leaving or watching the house, what windows could he see in from where he was parked? Was he able to view the inside of the house and what was going on from outside sitting in a car or walking by? Goes towards premeditation. How long did it take for him to walk to his car? What points of entry could he have gotten into the house? Question number 3, if there's audio evidence, what can you hear standing outside of the house? What can you hear inside of the house? Question number 4, what was Xana's path in the house to pick up the DoorDash? Did she have to walk past different rooms? Could she have walked past Brian Koberger? Where could he have been hiding? Question number 5, all the entry and exit points in the home. How could you get in and out without anyone seeing you? Were the decks potential access points, since the decks and landscape features are very close to each other? Question number 6, any biological evidence? Was it located in the house? Any proximity to the victims? Were there any trail outside of biological evidence and its proximity to the house? Question number 7, if the house itself was a target, which was the theory from the beginning, which is the supposed reason the University of Idaho called off their campus-wide warning while Brian Koberger was still not apprehended. Why was the house a target? What are all the access and exit points to the property? The driveway configuration for a vehicle to enter, exit, and turn around. Question number 8, what are the vantage points of other camera evidence pointed towards the house? Distance, view, lighting, etc. These are just a few of the things that the family has thought of, and no one seems to be able to answer about the King Road house. The question is, if the home is demolished with all of these questions, will they be able to be answered later on with diagrams, models, technology, etc., if they become an issue at trial? If not, then leave the home alone. Okay, so seriously, guys, we get it. The house needs to come down eventually. It does, 100%. But in the name of justice, they can most definitely wait a little longer until the trial is over. It's heartbreaking enough these families are suffering through the loss of their loved ones, that the victims' families are continuously faced with challenge after challenge, with gag orders, with, documents being sealed. And to demolish the key evidence to get justice for their loved ones, to me, is pouring salt in an already painful wound. Just as Steve said, it's better to have the house and not need it than need it and not have it. What are your thoughts on this, guys? Let me know in the comments below.